Hi there, I'm Jane, and this is Piglet, and we travel full-time in my Class B RV named Daisy. And today I'm going to share my van life budget with you. I also am going to share a spreadsheet that I use for the past several years to get out of debt. And I use that same spreadsheet to make sure that I don't live beyond my means while I'm traveling and living in my RV. So, first thing I'm going to do is tell you what my expenses are, because everybody that lives in a van has different expenses. Depends on, the things that you like to do, and of course how much money you make. And so I'm hoping that this will give you some insight as to, how things work for me. And I will explain to you, things that I might need to change in the future, because things seem to be getting more and more expensive. So you never know what's going to happen. So let me... Okay, this spreadsheet I'm using is in Numbers, which runs on iOS operating system, which is the Mac. But I am putting a copy of it in Excel format in the description below, so that you can download it and you can use it for yourself. So I will start with my greatest expense every month, and that is the payment on my Class B RV. It's a 2022 Pleasure Way Plateau FL. I bought it brand new in October of 2023, so I got a really big discount on the price of it because it was 2 years old at the time I bought it, even though no one had ever owned it before, and it only had about 487,000 miles or something like that. So yeah, I lucked out on that. I actually saw one posted on a Facebook group asking $2,000 more than what I paid for mine for the same year. So that kind of confirmed that I did get a really good deal. So I feel really lucky about that. And the reason I bought a brand new van is because I didn't want to deal with a lot of maintenance issues right off the bat. I wanted to be able to save up some money and an emergency fund for that. And also, I didn't have any place to build out a van. I would have preferred to have a custom built van or do-it-yourself built van, because they have so much more character. But yeah, I didn't have a place to do that. I didn't want to spend the money on tools, which would, I would have to sell them or give them away right after the build. And I just didn't have the time to do it because I was still working full-time when I first moved into my RV. So this was the best option for me, and I haven't changed my mind about that. So my van payment is $1,026.71 every month. My next highest expenses would be for diesel fuel and for groceries and eating out. So I budget $500 a month for diesel fuel, DEF, which is the diesel exhaust, what is it? I can never remember what it stands for. Diesel exhaust fuel? I'll put it in the comments below, or I'll put it right above. Okay, so DEF, I have to do that about once every other month, and I can't even remember how much it costs, like $20-something for a 2.5 gallon container. Also, water is included in that, so sometimes I do have to pay for water. And dump stations whenever I have to pay for that. I no longer have a black tank. As you saw one of my previous videos, you know that I had an accident in the desert down near Quartzsite, and I ripped the sewer system out from under my van, and so I couldn't use my toilet anymore. So I replaced the flush toilet with a composting toilet. So I don't have to deal with the black tank anymore, which is amazing. And then I have also budgeted $500 a month for groceries and eating out. I just retired in February, and I have had some weird expenses since then. This will be the first month that I haven't had any really weird expenses, such as having to pay income tax. So far the $500 is working, but that could change. Who knows? But this little budget spreadsheet that I have allows you to make adjustments if you have some flexibility in your income. Also, you can use this budget to figure out if you might be able to travel and live in a van full time. It will tell you how much money, based on the things that you think you want to be able to do, it will tell you how much money you need to earn. So it's very helpful in that way too. But what I use it for is to make sure that I don't go, spending money on things that I can't really afford. And the budget is just kind of like a guide. It's not to make you feel restricted. If you feel restricted with your budget, then you're not allowing enough in your budget. So, okay, then I have Planet Fitness every month, which is $27.22. And I sometimes go months without using my Planet Fitness, and sometimes I use it every week. Like right now, I'm in Snowflake, Arizona, and there is a Planet Fitness in Show Low. So whenever I go out to do my grocery shopping, I drive to Show Low so I can go to Planet Fitness and take a shower. And then I stop at the laundromat and do my laundry. And then I stop at Walmart on the way home and buy my groceries. Okay, then there are several tools that I use to make my YouTube videos, and I pay a monthly fee for those. Those include Epidemic Sound, which is where I get the music for my videos. That's $13.49 a month. I use Canva, which is what I use to make the thumbnails for my YouTube videos and other things for my art business. That's $14.99 a month. I have Adobe Photoshop, which I pay $9.99 a month for, and that's both to edit photographs for my thumbnails for YouTube, and it's also I use it for my art business. So if I have a reference photo that I want to use to make a painting from, I will edit it in Photoshop. Let's see, what else is there? Also, I do not like watching commercials on YouTube, so I pay $15.87 a month for YouTube Premium, so I do not have to watch commercials. Now, I did notice that there are a couple of YouTubers whose channel I used to subscribe to and I used to watch, but they started adding paid promotions to their channel, and I am forced to watch commercials, like one right after the other, like 3 or 4, one right after the other. So whoever you are, probably not a good idea to do that, because I unsubscribe from your channel so that I don't have to watch those commercials. Okay, then so other expenses are Starlink. I have a Starlink, and I paid $599 for the dish up front, and I pay $150 a month for the service. It's pretty much the only thing I use for my internet access. Unless I'm like at a Cracker Barrel or someplace that has good cell phone service, because I don't put my Starlink out when I'm at a Cracker Barrel. So I will use the hotspot on my phone for things like that. Okay. Also, I pay the insurance on my van. I should have categorized that up the top with the van payment. I pay $127.81 a month for insurance. I have Geico insurance, and my rig is insured as an RV, of course. And then have budgeted $20 a month for laundry. I sometimes don't even use $20 to do my laundry. All depends on where you go and how it's paid. Most of the places I go to here use quarters, so I have to get a whole bunch of quarters, and I just keep them in a little bag in my laundry bag. I have a laundry bag that it's like a backpack, and it has a little pocket in the front. I put my Tide Pods and my bounce sheets and my little bag of quarters. And if it's at a RV park where they take the card, I keep my card in that little pocket as well. Okay, what else do I have here? Okay, I bought this laptop. It's a Mac, MacBook Pro. I bought it brand new when I bought the van because I knew I was going to be doing the YouTube stuff. So I needed a pretty powerful computer. And so I financed it with 0% interest through Apple, and I'm still making payments on that through the end of the year. Those are $338.83 a month. So at the end of this year, that $338.83 can go into my savings account rather than to Apple. And then I had to pay income taxes this year. First time in years I've had to pay. So I put it on a credit card, which I hate doing, but then I had another credit card that had a 0% interest for 12 months for a balance transfer. So I paid my income taxes with a credit card. I got the balance transfer from the other credit card and paid off that first credit card. So now I pay $250 a month through the end of the year for that. So that one kind of hurt a little bit, but So at the end of the year, I'm gonna have $590 a month extra to put into savings, or do something special that I normally wouldn't do. I also have budgeted $200 a month for camping, and that's probably not enough depending on where I am. I boondock pretty much everywhere I go, so it doesn't cost anything. But every once in a while, you have to, I stay at a camp every once in a while, and I try not to pay more than $15 or $20 a night at those. And then there's Harvest Hosts, and at Harvest Host, you are expected to make a contribution to whatever the business is, either a donation or purchase something from them. If it's a brewery, go have a meal and get some beers, or a winery, buy some wine. So I don't do those too often, but when I do, I make sure that it's something that I will enjoy and not regret having to spend the money on it. Also, when I go to stay at a Cracker Barrel, I patronize the Cracker Barrel. I eat breakfast there, or I eat dinner there, or I have purchased little things in the gift shop in there before. So those are things that, I don't feel bad about spending money on as long as I have the money. So, and if I don't, then I don't stay at a Cracker Barrel. I'll stay somewhere else, like a Cabela's or a Bass Pro Shop, or Oh, there's tons of businesses. Some Walmarts you can still pay it. Although when I go to Walmart, I feel necessary to make a purchase there, which usually there's something grocery wise that I can use. So that kind of works out pretty good. So anyway, so I'm going to show you what the spreadsheet looks like, and I'll tell you what fields are calculated automatically, and then you can just fill it in to suit your own needs and figure out, how much money you need to make to be able to live full time in your van or camper or whatever, um, in the style of in the lifestyle that you like. So let me show you that spreadsheet. Okay, here is the spreadsheet, which I call Simple Budget, and I am using a MacBook Pro, so this is numbers that I'm using here, but I will put an Excel spreadsheet in the description so that you can download the Excel version if you have a Windows machine, or if you have Excel on your Mac. So basically, the blue cells are the ones that you type your information into. So you can put your income. Oh, I forgot to mention that I have all these pay periods in here. I have 12 of them, which would represent a person that gets paid once a month, which is me. I get paid once a month from Social Security. But if you need more, say if you get paid every 2 weeks, you can add more columns there to cover those pay periods. So, yeah. So also, if you need to add more lines for the expenses, you can just insert a row there. It'll mess up the color coding there, the every other light blue, dark blue, but you can fix that as well, or you can just leave it ugly. So anyway, in order to determine what your van life expenses would be, you could just ignore the income section at the top, and you would just put in your expenses in the expense area. And it will calculate the total household expenses for you automatically as you add things in there. I also have a credit card and loan section at the bottom. I always kept those separate because the expenses at the top are things that you will always have every month, and the credit card and loan expenses typically are not something you will carry on forever unless you're somebody that uses your credit card all the time. So for example, I'll put in my van payment, which is $1,026.71 a month. And you'll see that it calculated that in the total household expenses. And of course, since there's no income added there, the income less expenses is going to be a negative number. But I can put a test number in there just to show you that it will show you how much money you have left over after that expense if you do enter the income section. So I'm going to add my fuel, $500 a month. Groceries, $500 a month. Cell phone, $80 a month. And then, of course, if you need to add more rows, this is in numbers, but I think you would do it pretty similarly in Excel, just to add another row. And as long as you add it in between the first and the last row in that section right there, it will automatically calculate it correctly. If you add it above the first line or below the bottom line, you will need to recalculate the total household expenses. And in numbers, you would just highlight those cells and hit the sum, and it would automatically update that calculation for you. So I hope that this spreadsheet is helpful for you. like I said, I've been using it for years, probably 6 or 7 years at least, and I, um, you know, used it just to keep myself from overspending. But when it was time to get out of debt, I used it religiously to get myself out of debt. So I hope the spreadsheet is helpful for you, and I hope that it helps you determine whether or not you can afford van life or what it will take for you to afford van life. So, all you new van life people, I look forward to seeing you out on the road. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this. See you next week. Bye.